Welcome back to the LFC Transfer Hub, your number one source for everything breaking at Anfield. First news is Virgil van Dijk makes Liverpool admission amid Champions League race. Doesn't look that way. Second news is Milo's Kerkez on Brighton disappointment, his goal and important games to come. Third news is absent Arne Slot stalwart proves decisive as Liverpool U21's finish season with defeat. Now details. Virgil van Dijk says he has not given up hope of Liverpool finishing inside the Champions League places this season, but he admits it will be difficult unless something changes quickly. This week, the Reds put in their best performance of the season to date against Galatasaray, only to follow that up with a disappointing 2-1 defeat at Brighton a few days later. Arne Slot's men have now lost 10 games in the Premier League this term. Somehow, they remain inside the top 5 spots, with Chelsea and Manchester United also dropping points, but time is running out to cement their place in UEFA's top competition. "Listen, I don't know what to say. I said over the last months the same thing," Van Dijk told reporters at the Amex Stadium. "We can't build on a good performance. That is something that has to change if we are to achieve what we are trying to achieve, and that is Champions League football. We are trying everything. We are trying to turn it around and we are hopefully going to turn a corner, but it doesn't look that way at the moment. Obviously, we go away now to our different countries. Everyone has a responsibility to stay as fit as everyone can and come back even better if that is possible. If there is still a chance, then I am always confident, but we have to do better, of course. And if we don't, then it is going to be very difficult. 7 more games and tough ones as well, so things have to change for us to deserve that as well. Could it be that the international break has come at a good time for Liverpool to reset? Things are never that simple. I would rather to try and win games," Van Dijk insisted. "But the next one for me is against Norway. That will be my focus now, but the feeling I have and the rest of the players should have is frustration because it is the same story now. It happened again. Not having much time between games is the situation. I was also surprised when I was on the training pitch yesterday and I only saw the amount of players that I saw, but that is the situation. So yeah, tough." Behind the scenes, Liverpool is continuing to attempt to work out some solutions. So far, though, consistency has proved elusive. "I've been asked that question many times this season and it still didn't happen," Van Dijk replied when asked what he puts the poor performances down to. "It's down to us, and so we have to do it as players, as a group. If we change that, then obviously we can be a very dangerous force throughout the whole season, but at the moment, we are not. I don't think it is the bravery. When Hugo Ekitike comes off and you look at the team, there was not a lot of runs in behind. There is not a lot on that side. That wasn't the issue why we lost, but it changed a bit of our game. When we made changes, the formation changed and the positions changed, and then you're asking different things. It's a combination of everything, but the matter of fact is that we can't build on a good performance that we had midweek. It was a very quick turnaround, but that is not an excuse of why we lost. It happened too many times, and if it keeps happening, then there is no chance of success. I'm going to Holland now, and everyone is going to different countries. Everyone has to look after themselves. Most of the players play friendlies as well, and then we come back and we have a very quick turnaround again because we are back on Thursday and play on Saturday, early kickoff again. Then PSG, Fulham and PSG again, very intense days. Let's see how everyone comes back and embrace it, but no one wants to lose games and keep being in that cycle. I'm also frustrated for the fans. They travel all the way here early supporting us and we couldn't deliver again, so it's tough." Second news is Milo's Kerkez on Brighton disappointment, his goal and important games to come. 2 goals from Danny Welbeck meant the Reds suffered a 2-1 defeat in the Premier League and were unable to build on the encouraging Champions League win over Galatasaray in midweek. Kerkez put the visitors back on level terms at Amex Stadium following Welbeck's 14th-minute opener, but they could not produce another response in the second half. "I think they definitely played good, had more chances," the left-back admitted to Liverpool.com. "I think we didn't create as much as we wanted and it was a tough day, definitely. On the quick turnaround between matches, Kerkez continued, "I don't like this excuse. We know where we are in the standings in the Premier League and we know we have to push. I mean, of course, it's maybe a bit of an advantage, but we are still disappointed, very disappointed today that we couldn't win." Kerkez drew Liverpool level on the half-hour mark with a moment of ingenuity. Lewis Dunk looked to head a long ball back to Bart Verbruggen, only for the Reds' No. 6 to follow his instincts, intercept and lift the ball over the goalkeeper. The ball went back to Georgi Mamardashvili and I made a deep run. I know Dunk likes to give the balls to the goalkeeper with his chest and to head it back, so I just thought I'd continue the run, the 22-year-old recalled. He sent it back and it was not a bad finish, but when you don't go out with 3 points it doesn't really matter. The loss on the South Coast was Liverpool's final match before the pause for international football. The campaign resumes with an Emirates FA Cup quarter-final at Manchester City on April 4, and Kerkez believes there remains plenty left to play for in the season. The Hungary international finished. Straight away in the FA Cup we have City and then big games with PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, really important for us, and Fulham in between. So all of these games are going to be massively important and we have to come back fit and ready. Third news is absent Arne Slot stalwart proves decisive as Liverpool U21's finish season with defeat. Liverpool finished its 2025-26 season Premier League 2 season with a whimper as it lost 5-1 to Crystal Palace on Sunday. After such a positive second half of the season, the Reds were powerless to cope with the Eagles' strength and power, as they followed up Monday's loss to Manchester City with a second defeat in a week. It was an action-packed start at Kirkby, with 3 goals inside the opening 17 minutes. Palace's Dean Benemer began proceedings when he fastened onto a long ball downfield before he controlled and finished coolly beyond Armin Pexi. The Reds responded quickly when Palace goalkeeper Harry Lee gifted Kieran Morrison the ball just yards from his own goal. His misplaced pass fell invitingly at the feet of the Northern Ireland international, ahead of his first meetup with the senior squad next week. However, Morrison's calm finish was immediately undone when Tyler White poked in at the back post following a scruffy corner that restored Palace's lead. The visitors were the better side throughout, and it not for Pexi, the Eagles' advantage could have been greater. The Hungarian stopper was twice on hand to deny Palace's Zach Marsh and also palm away a dangerous cross into the area. Liverpool, the league's best side since the turn of the year, lacked its usual zip and poise. The absence of Trey Nyoni, now a first-team regular, certainly contributed to the Reds' reduced control, while the presence of experienced Mali international Cheikh Douker in the opposition lineup helped Palace implement a physical approach. The midfielder is continuing his recovery from a torn meniscus in January 2025 and played his 3rd game in a row. Palace's more robust style came to the fore again almost immediately after the halftime whistle, as Charlie Walker-Smith rose highest in the box to head in the visitors' 3rd of the afternoon. Liverpool, keen to avoid a second successive defeat, especially considering it previously went 9 unbeaten, pushed to reduce the arrears with Josh Sonny Lambie firing a volley just wide before Will Wright's first-time finish was well saved by Lee. But Rob Page's more diminutive youngsters simply could not deal with Palace's power. Peskai denied Ben Casey following a slick breakaway but could do nothing to stop Palace's 4th, as Cadden Rodney converted from the spot after Kyle Kelly fouled Joseph Gibbard in the area. Moments later it was 5, as Imof Gemide picked out Casey with a superb through ball that sliced through Liverpool's center. Pexi was again on hand to keep out the initial effort but watched forlornly as Jemiah Umalu tapped in a 5th. A livid Rob Page stormed back into the youth team building at full time, seething at the Reds' tepid second-half showing. He will have to wait for around a month for the beginning of the playoffs, with the Premier League 2 season not due to conclude for another month as the remaining fixtures take place. The Reds have guaranteed a top 8 finish and a home tie in the playoffs, with no date yet set for when they will commence.